Hello, and welcome to episode 21 of the Feel Good Podcast. I am your host, Brandon Nichols. With me forever is forever. You're with me forever? I just straddled you with that horse shit. Sorry.
You cut it. You cut it. You shortened it.
I said I wasn't going to say it.
I knew. I was going to say. I mean, but you got the Feel Good Podcast
that was the
out,
important
so that's
part.
good.
My hat is annoying the crap out of me. I'm just going to boop behind me.
Just take it off. No, boom! He's doing it live.
He's doing it live. Nobody's going to see this video for at least 2 more weeks. Or maybe next week.
That's right.
Sam Spangler, how are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, my friend Brandon?
We just went...
How's quarantine life?
We just went for a walk for about 40 minutes. We walked from my house down to the park, down to downtown, over to 3rd, back up to the house. So it's
nice.
Fresh air is helpful.
Yes. And the nicer weather is very appreciable.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. I'm pretty sure both my AC and my heating hate me right now. Because they've both been switched back and forth off and on for the last week. Just the temperature drops in this part of the country is ridiculous. We had like 70, almost 70 degree weather and then 30 degrees and freezing rain. And today it's 75, 76. And tomorrow it's supposed to be over 80. Yeah.
Here's something funny. Is the other day Kai was walking by our thermostat and he accidentally knocked it off and it fell, it kind of came off of his holder and fell and the screen shattered. Well, it was still working, but you just couldn't see anything because the screen was shattered. And so for the last 3 weeks, we were working with a thermostat that we didn't really know what it was set at. I was like, I think it's on heat. I think it's on cool. Does that feel like it's cool? Does it feel like it's heat? And I was just like, eh. And then finally, I was like, okay. Well, Emily had looked at, at some of the Home Depot stores and stuff like that. And she's like, let's just get a new one. And I was like, man, I could do the wiring. Don't get me wrong. Right. I just don't want to. I don't want to mess with it. So we found the exact same one we had and ordered it and we got it last week. And it was nice because I just took off the old one, slid the new one on. And there you go. Now we can see what we have it set at.
But it'd be interesting, though. It's been a couple days. Just, all right, does it feel good? Is everybody good? All right, I don't know what it's set at or how, but we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, fortunately, it was kind of more around the cold time, and it had previously been set on heat, so it was kind of I knew it was probably on heat, but I did at one point, was I think the air conditioner's on. I'm going to go outside, and sure enough, it was turned on. I was like, okay, it's not on the right setting. So, but we are good now.
What else you guys been doing for the last week over quarantine?
I worked these last 3 days, which the hospital is kind of a ghost town right now.
Really? The hospital
here and there,
the clinic, the doctor's offices.
No, and the inpatient. Yep, the inpatient. They said they're about 40% from their normal capacity at this time, and that's it where I'm at now, and the one that's downtown as well. And so, but they're expecting a surge and a spike, kind of like we were talking prior to this, in a couple weeks or so. So there's discussion of redeployment if needed, and so we will see what happens with that.
Have you stayed in your department so far?
So far. Anything could happen, but I kind of adjust. I'm happy I have a job. For any of those that were laid off or not working right now, keep your chin up. I know this is a very hard time. Very grateful just to be working. So
I'm trying my hardest, man. It ain't easy. That does remind me. So Easter, is that this weekend?
Yeah. Sunday.
Pokemon. I'm being quiet. We got it.
So, oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
They both have been kind of clamoring at it, and they didn't get it for Christmas because we had other things planned. But it was one of those very last minute. My wife was like, "We have nothing," because you can't really go to the store and pick things out and make things. My wife's big on making things and making it an ordeal, and she can't. And she's like, "You're not gonna let me go to Dollar Tree, are you?" I'm like, "No." She's like, and I'm sitting here, sure as hell not going to Walmart or anywhere. So, so I'm actually kind of excited about that.
Yeah, no, that'll be cool to see what they can do with it together and everything. So, Kai definitely, that's probably his second game he kind of jumps into on the Switch. Might be his most played, in all honesty.
I don't know what you said. Hold on one second. So I have these are wireless Bose headphones, and randomly for the last week, I don't know if they just need an update or something. So when I turn them on, it connects to my computer, but it also connects to my phone at the same time, and I can listen to audio from both. The problem is, for the last 2 weeks, it's been dropping my phone randomly. My battery's good. There's no other reason. It's just kind of annoying.
Sadly, I told you how to beat COVID. I told you the supplies you would need and how you would overcome it. But I can only say it once. That was like per the agreement I have with the individual. I can only say it once.
What's hilarious is I told you how to beat, and then it went iPhone lost, and I couldn't hear you again. And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure he said COVID.
Yeah. So that was, I'm sorry. Once again, these are, secret channels I have, people that I know.
Everybody else on the podcast heard it, though. Okay.
Yeah, they did.
So
they'll know.
On my own podcast to hear what you said.
I know. I'm sorry.
By the way, we were talking about when Final Fantasy comes out before this started.
Yes.
Our buddy Jeff got it ordered. He hasn't received it. It's supposed to get here on the 14th. So he still has to wait 7 days.
Ooh. I thought it was out earlier than that.
I think Amazon delayed a lot of shipments for a lot of people for priority.
Well, Jeff, hearing you on the podcast and knowing how big of a fan you are, I am truly sorry for you. But I'm sure it'll be worth the wait.
It's like it's getting a little bit of mixed reviews, but still some solid reviews. So,
well, I think the thing too is it's giving people what they've been asking for the longest time. So the nostalgia factor is probably at the peak, at the pinnacle for this game, especially more than most any other. And so there are definitely going to be those people that play it, and that is not what they wanted. I don't know what they wanted, but they'll think like, nope, that's not what I wanted, and they're going to be
I found
upset about it.
I think it was the IGN review was talking about how they expanded out story for Cloud. Like they gave him more backstory and gave some more information on some stuff too. But now you're like, well, how does that play out for the rest? That doesn't make sense. And so now it's kind of one of those. Yeah. The guy was kind of annoyed at it, but I'm from an outsider point of view I played Final Fantasy VII once. I mean, like I beat the game, but like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, whatever that was. Yeah, it was not 10 years ago. I can't remember for the life of me like what those changes could be, like what they could have done. But that kind of I think it'll sink the hooks into some people where they're like, so what's the next part gonna be? Like
maybe it goes into what his secret formula for his styling gel is to keep his hair as faded as it is. That's probably it. Probably just can go into the store and saying, okay, this is what I do.
Back to the thing we were talking about Easter with what we got our kids. I will say I'm sad about it because it's going to severely cut into my Animal Crossing time.
So watching, okay. So, to be forthright and kind of just let people know, like you have Animal Crossing. I got it for my kids. It's kind of an experiment in my mind. None of my kids have ever played an Animal Crossing game. I have never played an Animal Crossing game in my life. So in all honesty, I bought it kind of on a whim because I was kind of curious how they would interact with it. Because I know the day is the day. Like, I mean, it's a 24-hour day just like you have here. You can kind of cheat it and move the clock forward in your system and, back and forth. But I'm not going to let them know that. And just so you go and do your activities for the day. And once you've done that, that's kind of it for the day. I mean, you can sell stuff, you can continue to collect things. But yeah, I was kind of curious to see how they'd respond. It's been interesting to watch them. But it looked like when I looked at your profile, you had over 100 hours already logged on it. And I was like, I don't know if that's you or your
family. That's me.
Or
I've yeah. It's like I'm not working, Sam. Like this is what I'm doing. I post.
You're working on the game.
I'm
though.
working on the game.
You're helping Tom Nook.
This is one of the things I've been doing is like I'll sit here at my desk, and you know what my desk looks like, and I'll set the Switch in front of me, and I'll do some work for a little bit, and then I'll play it. I'll tell you, one of the biggest time losses in it was, and we'll get to it in a minute, when I was prepping stuff for the YouTube channel, because I told you how long it was taking to export videos out, or the audio into videos, and we're talking 30 to 45 minutes average for a thing. I would like sit here, just sit back. Oh, next video, and just go back to it. I'll go up like in the mornings when the kids are doing schoolwork. If they don't need me for anything, I'll work on something down here, but I'll just play Animal Crossing.
It is a very nice, chill game. I will say that. And this is not a game that, like, for me, I'm not somebody that's like craftsy or into design all that much. But just the loop, like, there's no real like, struggle. You're not really fighting against anything other than paying off your debts. But it's kind of just low stress. Right. You just are like, move this here. Oh, I've got enough to make this now. There are a couple of things I actually had to research because I was like, man, did I miss something about how to obtain this tool that I need to kind of forward the progression on the island that you're on? It's kind of cool. It's nice to have something just to sit back and relax in a little bit.
Relaxing audio, like in terms of the music. Yeah. And you just kind of piddle around and you're like, hey, let's just do this. I'm going to do this now.
Now let me ask you this, because we had talked about Animal Crossing and then brought up Stardew Valley. With have you played another Animal Crossing other than this one? I've played
the Pocket thing, and a friend of mine a long time ago had it on the 3DS, and I watched him play it. And I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm not grasping the point of it, but...
Well, and that was my question is kind of, it sounds like Stardew Valley has more of a story to it and kind of something that kind of pushes you along the path. Animal Crossing, is it more of just...
There's an end goal that you'll get to a point where you do roll credits in the game.
Okay.
And it basically just keep talking to Tom Nook and ask him what he wants you to do. There becomes an end goal of what he's trying to do. More or less make the island profitable. And he has a vision on how to get to the most profitable point. So you help him achieve those goals. You become his maintenance man for the island.
He's like known as one of the like biggest villains in video game history, isn't he?
Direct villain. Yes, it's like if you took all your boss and your landlord and everyone who you feel is putting
you pay bills, the FD, the electric company, your home warranty.
he's making you make the island better, but you have to pay him to do it. That's basically how it is.
Exactly. He's figured out a system.
But no, it does have that end goal. And and even after I rolled credits on it, I was still. But then to my point, I was like,
"Have you rolled credits on this one already?" Oh my gosh!
But my problem is, I'm like, well, I don't have the island to where I want it. Because you start doing certain things, and you're like, you get an idea of how you want it. But there's also goals. There's like, I don't know what the quantity are, but there's a whole bunch of fish that you can catch and collect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
a bunch of critters. There's an overall island rating. And like now that I've hit that point, I would like to get a 5-star island rating. I'm at a 3. You need a 3 to progress towards the end of the game. But
how many hours did it take you to get to the roll creds?
I think I was sitting at like 80.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is not a 20-hour.
So I read an article from one of the, I don't know if it was IGN or Games Radar or something.
Yeah.
That was, if you play this game every day, you pick it up, do your chores, and do what you can do, just average, it should take you 15 days to beat the game.
Okay.
Assuming you're doing what you need to every day that you can do. Because you got to keep in mind, and it's like any RPG, honestly. It's like any open world RPG. Yeah. The time it actually takes me to beat a game is not indicative of what I did while I was playing it. Because, like, Skyrim, I could have beaten Skyrim way earlier than I did. But before I got to that point, I wanted to be the leader of every guild. I wanted to uncover everything on the map. Like, there was so much other crap I did. And that was the same with this. I went to friends' islands to see what they had. I bought and crafted stuff I didn't need. I expanded my house out as much as I could up to the point I'm at. I still have one more expansion I can do, but I currently owe him like 1.4 million bells for it. But it's not been my priority. But now so what I kind of did on my island, the whole left side of our island, because Monica and both boys have logged onto it, is our half of the island. So we have homes for all four of us, and I'm kind of in the middle of crafting that as our land. And at the same time, on the rest of the island, I'm trying to turn it into what looks like a living, thriving city. So,
gotcha. Okay. And you cheated, right? You cheated, right?
Yes and no. For the first 3 or 4 days, I built up a lot of money by just time traveling. I didn't give a crap. But since then, the most cheating I do is I'm trying to get the island to look a certain way. So if you go to do anything to a house or build a bridge or move somebody, you have to wait till the following morning. That gets kind of annoying to me. And so
you're so impatient.
What else am I doing? So
you could wait.
And then do what?
Go on a walk with me.
Socially distanced walk?
Well,
I don't know when you're working or not working.
That's true.
Leave me alone. So
here, hold it. Before I forget, there's a game that I think you should play. It's called The Longing. Have you ever heard of it?
No. What is it on?
Yes. I heard him talk about this on another podcast.
You listen to other podcasts?
What I've understood. Yeah, absolutely. All the time.
All right. Go ahead.
So, but the game takes 400 actual days to beat. And the whole thing is you are a character that is in the kingdom with a king that is asleep for some reason. I don't know. And you can only do certain activities throughout the day. And you have to wait for certain things to happen. Like you may go and walk in through the cave and you'll see that there's moss growing on a cliff underneath you. And then he'll say, oh, in 10 days, this moss will be thick enough for me to fall down onto it and not die. But then he'll see certain areas where it's man, he can't get up a ledge, but there's a stalactite and it's dripping waters. And he may say, in 20 days, this water will be deep enough or high enough that I can swim across and get to the other side. But it actually takes 400 days to complete. And that 400 days, apparently the king wakes up and you need to be there to help him and assist him. But I think it'd be an interesting week by week to say, what's going on, Brandon?
Add that to my list of chores.
And then a year and a fourth, basically, around there. Kind of then touching in and say, hey, what happened?
So they have $15 on sale.
Yeah. I'll Venmo you some of the
Well, what I was saying was, so what I'll do is if I hit a point where man, I just need the next day to come, what I'll do is I'll fast forward literally to 10 o'clock in the next morning. Get the morning announcements, check the stores, and then I'll set it back, save it, and set it back, and I'll go back to
Ooh, man.
I watched a streamer get really upset and went on a tirade about people cheesing it and doing that and complaining. But then at the same time, him and these people that play this game have figured out how to make, so you can turn you can go to mystery islands.
Yeah.
They figured out how to make them spawn tarantulas, so they can take tarantulas and sell them for a profit. But it requires removing all the trees, digging holes, removing all the stuff, and then figuring out where the game is spawning things, and then despawning it and waiting for the next thing to spawn.
Well, they cheesed it in a way too.
I'm like, there's no difference in somebody who's cheesing the clock for money and you cheesing this for money.
Yeah, it's kind of different.
You're using the game's mechanics.
Exactly. Where I am playing pure, and I'm like, man, I have something that we built this morning, and now we have to wait for it to be built until tomorrow morning.
You should gather more materials. Make sure you get all your wood from all your trees.
Yeah. I went through and collected everything else as well.
You have one money rock every day. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, so if you go to a rock, one rock on your island every day will give out $8,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing I didn't find out, so what's kind of funny is we started it on my son's profile, like for him to start it, and he's kind of the owner of the island. But then Eden had been playing more on my profile, and I didn't realize the owner of the island has to be the one to get the morning announcements, and like you won't spawn those announcements, and like you can't do certain things if you're not basically the president of the island, or I can't remember what he calls you, the assistant to the manager.
Yeah, no, you can get them on other profiles.
Are you sure about that?
As long as it's your first time on in the day, you'll get the announcements.
Well, there was other things that, like, I found that unless something was broken, like there's a task that you have to give Tom Nook, like bugs, and then that's when he gives you like an axe, and then he gives you the thing
only the main island holder can do.
And that's the thing. I didn't realize that, and I was like, man, when do I get this axe? Apparently, that I can get a stone and do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I was playing on my Eden's because she had been playing more and had more stuff built up. And then I was like, eventually I was like, I'm just gonna try and I was like, oh, that's what it was this entire time.
Yeah.
So
I will say I wish there was a different way that.
Yeah.
Or just a way for me to make another island somehow.
There is.
Buy another Switch.
Yeah, there you go. So, no biggie. Just another, which apparently they're all sold out everywhere.
Oh, they're sold. Yeah, and a lot of it's because of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, you should look it up if you haven't seen it. There's a video on YouTube. Apparently, this grandma that just is a huge Animal Crossing fan, who's played it for years, like had a 3DS and played it and everything, and played it on GameCube or something. She's like 98 years old. Well, awesome. Nintendo sent her grandson the limited edition Animal Crossing Switch.
That's awesome.
And a whole bunch of stuff, and then because he posted some video on YouTube about her being excited for it, and a lot of people thought it was awesome, and they found ways to contact him. So people were making, like how you take those little colored pearls and melt them together to make things.
No, I don't know that.
Okay, whatever. Well, they're like little artsy projects that kids do in school, but she just got this huge thing, and she was really excited. And I remember at the end of the video shows her just sitting there holding her Switch, and she just looks like the happiest person in the whole world, ready to just.
That's super cool.
So
I wonder if she cheeses it. Probably not.
You don't know. Late at night, Grandma's home by herself. She might go, "Oh, move this clock forward a little." Her Google search history: how to change time on a Switch. I want to give a quick update on the YouTube stuff because I've talked about it a couple times. If all goes according to plan, next week will be our first stream for whenever we record. I finally got all the podcasts switched over to a video format. They all need to have some kind of description added and uploaded to the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is created.
The
YouTube. So then starting... Probably want to shoot for recording next Wednesday. What's your schedule next week work?
I would probably be better like a Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, we'll go for Tuesday. Preliminary. So next Tuesday we'll do a live stream. We'll post it on YouTube, and then the link we'll share on Twitter and Facebook. People can watch and talk to us. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm hearing yelling in my house, and I'm just making sure that it wasn't coming down the stairs. So I just wanted to touch on this. It's nothing gaming related, but I saw a meme that I thought was funny.
Yeah.
UFC president, owner, whatever, Dana White said in a news press that he was trying to find a secluded island that he could buy so that he can have private UFC fights on it, so they can still make money and UFC fighters can come and fight.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like the start of Mortal Kombat? That was the meme I saw. It was like, it was the start of Mortal Kombat. And it was like somebody had changed him up to look like Shang Tsung. And like,
pretty good.
I was just like, yep.
I'm going to have to look that one up real quick.
I think it might have been Boss Logic, which I think I've talked about Boss Logic several times. But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. So enough off game chatter. Which great. I segued it. It still made sense.
Yeah. That's all I hear.
So this being the first podcast of the month,
yes,
it's time for free games from Sony and Microsoft.
Free games.
We'll do Microsoft first. Games with gold. Project Cars 2 and Fable Anniversary come out the first, so they're out now. Project Cars 2 I've actually played. I think I played it on the PlayStation. Have you tried it?
Mm-mm.
It's okay. I mean, a lot of these racing games now have put this open world aspect where you just drive around and do stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's meh. I prefer like real racing.
Oh, gotcha.
But it has planes, it has motorcycles, has different types of racing. So Fable Anniversary, of course, is an Xbox 360 and Xbox One game. I'm not really.
You think that's a hint to anything?
What?
You think that's a hint to anything at all?
No.
You just think they just happen to have it in the backlog? They're like, yeah, we'll just put it up.
Yeah.
Man, gosh, that would be awesome if they were like, hey, we're releasing Fable, Anniversary, and we got an announcement.
Right.
And then they just showed the logo. Right. That would be fantastic.
Yes, that would be amazing. And then for the 16th of April, Toy Box Turbos, which is the 360 and the Xbox game. And then Knights of Pen and Paper. I had to look this up because I didn't know what this was.
I haven't heard of that.
It is a role-playing game where you play the people playing a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Alrighty.
So you have to design your person. You get to pick like the nerd guy, you design your person. You help them with their character sheet. So then you design their character. And then you have to tell them what decisions to make. And that person earns points and allows them to do stuff to help them help their team win in Dungeons and Dragons.
Do you design all of the characters? It looks like there's 5 individual people playing.
That I don't know.
Okay.
It was a quick, I'm looking at this going, what?
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, it looked very interesting to where I was like, well, I'm definitely going to download that just to see what it is.
Yeah, why not?
I'm there. PlayStation Plus games. Uncharted 4.
Yeah, fantastic game.
And
I might as well download it since I've got it for a year.
Say that again?
I might as well download it since I've got the PlayStation Plus for a year.
Right, might as well.
And now.
But you've played it, haven't you?
Yeah, I played it. It was great. It's a fantastic.
Yeah.
It was probably, other than 2, man, that was just a great story. And I don't know, the way it all, spoilers, wrapped up a lot of stuff. It was very heartfelt. And I'm, God, man, the little reveal, what do they say? Is the terms of, spoilers up for it? What do they say? I can't remember.
Yeah, the spoilers, if you don't know how Uncharted
ends. So I think, you've played it?
Yes, I've played it and beat it.
Okay. So you know how it ends? And it begins with you playing Crash Bandicoot with your wife, basically. And so you're like playing with it, which is the game that Naughty Dog made back in the day. And so you're kind of playing this, level, and it's kind of hokey and funny. And then, it just kind of shows like, not the washed up Drake, but it shows the adventurer. Like, what do you do after adventure's kind of gone? Like, you've got to try to make a living.
Right, have a life.
He's got a life. He's got stuff he needs to do. And then he gets, of course, pulled back into the world of adventure and mayhem with the announcement that his brother's still alive. And there are people that are coming after him. He needs help, and so they go after that. And then the thing that got me, like, I mean, I honestly, oh, and I forgot, like, when you're playing as Drake at the beginning, there's like a picture album, and you can look through it, and it shows you like pictures of what you and your wife have been up to and everything like that. And that was really cool. So then I don't remember how it transitions to it, but at the very end of the game, so it's for anybody that doesn't want to know, but it's a great way. You're playing Crash Bandicoot again. And I was like, oh, like, end of the game, you're just, they're letting you have another go at this, and you play through it. And then when it pulls back, it's a kid, it's a girl, a daughter, or somebody that you're just like, well, who's this? I don't know that you even know who it is exactly right off the bat. Well, that's not Drake. And then you start kind of walking around the house, and you find the picture album. And I remember I got misty-eyed as you start flipping through it, and you see her birth and their life together and where they've been and what they've done. And then you just, I mean, then just everything opens up, because then you're all of a sudden just like, well, shoot, man, I got to look through this whole house and see where are they going on.
I lost a lot of time just looking through the house trying to figure out what was.
Oh my gosh! But it was just such a beautiful ending to a fantastic series too, of just ups and downs, and I don't know, ended on a high note for sure.
Plus, I mean, they basically just set it up for the possibility of a Uncharted, new beginnings, and you could just have her following in her parents' footsteps.
Well, I mean, how many games do you know that actually end and they say that's it for these, for Drake and for the mom, or like that's it, they're done. Like, this is their story. And I mean, if they were not to release another game for Uncharted, I felt, and that's the big thing too, is I felt satisfied by the ending. I felt like I like this ending. If they don't ever come back and touch these characters again, I felt like it was an ending that I thought was appropriate and was very heartfelt and a callback to a lot of things in the series. And it was fantastic. It was great. Probably one of my number one favorite endings of all time.
Yeah, if you haven't played Uncharted 4, even if you haven't played it and just heard us talk about the ending, we just told you like an end port. We didn't tell you how the game ends. So
the rest of it's just great.
Play the game. The other game is Dirt 2.0, which I played on because I think it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you like racing games, you got one from each company this week or this month.
Yep. I will tell you before you jump off the games that are coming out, I did look at Minecraft Dungeon, since we had kind of brought it up last time, and watched a little trailer of that. It actually looks pretty cool, and since it's on Game Pass, I let Kai watch it, and he was just like, that looks like fun. And I was like, man, that'll be like a cool little dungeon runner, that's like a little friendlier for kids.
And they've cemented that it will be out in May. So it's
awesome.
Good to go. But what won't be out, which we've already talked about when they were supposed to be, Last of Us 2 and Iron Man VR.
I didn't know really Iron Man VR. I mean, I know you've got a headset. Were you interested in that at all?
I don't have a headset. Dave has a headset.
Well, but you've got one there.
I wasn't.
You can access
I really
it.
wasn't interested in Iron Man VR. But Last of Us 2, of course, I was.
That sucks.
Which a lot of it sounds like it's production issue, not creation issue. Because as far as I understand, they're like about done with it. If not,
just squat bugs now.
I'm pretty sure that's what their post said, was they were just working on fixing bugs. Which by the time they get to release, they better be able to have all those bugs squashed.
It's true. But it must be the most polished game you've ever played.
That's finished.
Nothing broke ever.
So not only are they they're not canceled, they are indefinitely on hold until production can resume. But they are to an extent that Sony has already just automatically started canceling and refunding pre-orders.
Yeah.
Which is, it's nuts.
Wow.
They're just like, not only are they saying, yeah, this is being affected by what's happening in the world, but we just don't know when it's going to get fixed.
Well, and thank goodness it's Naughty Dog too. I mean, kind of just like we were saying, like, I don't know another company that could say a game that's been in how long, 4 or 5 years, this game's development at this point, to say, we're just going to put it on hold. It's not the right time. It's not the right climate to release, which is such a blow to everybody else that wants to play it. But it's just, thank goodness it's a company that we're not going to have to be like, oh, now it's never going to come out. You know what I mean? Something like that, where it's like, ooh, and it could be gone forever.
Yeah, it's just it's just crazy. Yeah, I actually Iron Man 2. Or Iron Man VR. I had no real connection to.
Whatever. You wanted to fly around in the helmet. I know.
Real life.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of VR, because this does segue into this.
Yeah.
Oh man, just can't shake this damn cough. No Man's Sky dropped a trailer today. Did you watch it? They're
I did.
adding mechs.
Yeah, I saw that. What a turnaround for that game to go from everybody just saying, oh, the guy Sean Murray, I think, is the guy that developed it. Was one of the president of the company or whatever, and just saying, oh, he screwed up. This game sucks. It's not what he promised at all. Screw this guy. This game stinks. To then go into kind of not hiding, but kind of pull back and say, all right, let's go in and kind of revamp it, retool things, make it better, and then continue to add to it. What a story. Good for them.
They could have dropped and just moved on to something else within a year of releasing this game, and they haven't. And I actually enjoyed No Man's Sky when it came out because it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Yeah. I wasn't hung up on this whole dinosaur thing. I was like the space travel, the randomly generated planets and how that works.
So everybody should watch the Jurassic Park theme song for No Man's Sky. For what was promised to what was delivered. It's one of my favorite videos.
But I put a lot of time in it when it first came out, and then I kind of fell off.
Yeah.
And then they just started doing all these updates, and I was like, man, I should jump back into this. And then I jumped back into it, and I lost a lot more time, and I'm like, this is nuts. Yeah. And then I played it again just recently because I was wanting to check something out. So, and I think you and I talked about this. They revamped their whole system for VR when they added it to No Man's Sky.
I'm not going to do it. You're not going to make me do it.
Oops.
I don't care how much.
Sorry.
I could hear that.
I know. I didn't mean to let you hear that.
Was that? Now hold on. Was that Angelica?
Yeah, this is what
Angelica from Rugrats?
This is what I wanted you to hear.
Nice. All right. What was that voice though?
The first one was Bart Simpson. It was an ad.
Okay.
So, I didn't think about the ad.
Anyways,
before.
they retooled everything for VR, and that mech update works with the VR. So when you're in the mech suit, you can do that in the VR headset. And I was like, okay, I might need to pull out Dave's VR headset just to play No Man's Sky.
Yeah, man. You got to tell me how that is.
I bet it's not good as Half-Life Alex.
Dude. Don't do it. That hurts. Gosh, man. So I can't tell you how close I was to pulling the trigger on that. Spending, what was, I think, $600? Or was it 500?
Is what you said. I want to give you the heads up to the update. I told you I would ask my wife about splitting it.
Yeah.
She kind of smirked and just gave me a look, but she didn't say no.
Fair enough. I am. So right now, I don't know if every time we get paid, we give each other like a little allowance of what we get. I'm currently saving that right now so that if it does get to the point where it is back in stock and I have the money, I may just go out and purchase it and not feel guilty about it because I'll be like, that's my allowance money. It's not like our savings money.
It's not something we need for something. It's my money that I'm putting aside for me to play with.
Yeah, and then I don't have to give Emily the other half because she's made it very clear if I use that much money for myself, she apparently gets that much money too.
Oh, that's how much you're using on this check? Well, I'm going to use that money on this check.
Exactly. I'm just like, gosh dang it.
I had to argue. So if you're a husband, you might understand this. Not you, anybody listening. My wife doesn't like buying things for herself. And I almost not physically, but I forcefully have to tell her to just do it. She's wanted some Converse for a while. And last night she she like popped up in bed, or no, she was on the couch. She was like, "Did you know they make fleece-lined Converse?" And I was like, and she could see her face glowing. I was like, "Oh, and they're $40." I was like, "That's not bad." I was like, "Just buy them." No, and I'm like, "Buy the damn shoes." No,
yeah.
And she's like, "But see, that doesn't make sense because shipping is this much. But they have a sale where if you buy 2, you can get 2 for a reduced amount, and then you pay shipping, and then you're only paying this much." And I would just feel bad buying myself 2 pairs of shoes. And I'm like, "Buy the damn shoes." And we went back and forth for the rest of the night. She was like, "I never bought those shoes." And I was like, just laying in bed, I'm like, "Just buy the shoes."
Monica sounds like me. I kind of perseverate about buying things, and I usually end up saying, "No, I don't need it." I don't.
Right. Well, see, so then this afternoon, I was checking something to make sure something cleared the bank. And I logged into our thing, and the very top thing was from Converse. Where she must have finally broke down and bought them, and I was like, "Thank you."
Did it. Good.
I have one other thing I wanted to add was that Spider-Man's being added to PlayStation Now, which I think.
Yay! Good for PlayStation Now.
Well, see, PlayStation Now has Uncharted. It has the first Last of Us, and Spider-Man.
I'm still just a little sore about accidentally purchasing it, but you know.
I got a project for the next episode for you.
Yeah.
Go through and list the top 10 games in your opinion that are on PlayStation Now.
Okay.
And then we'll make an equal list of top 10 games on Xbox One on
Game Pass. Okay. I can do that.
Anything else to add, sir?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if you noticed, our episode last week clocked in at exactly 1 hour and 30 seconds.
Man, what weird.
Right now we're at like 40 minutes, so yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, a short one.
Sir, as always, fun talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, do you mind if I play us out?
Play us out. Do it.
All right, playing us out.